Good evening. Hello. Welcome to League of You of F1 2019 Season 3 Division 1. We are here at Russia at the Sochi Autodrome, and what a night we have in prospect here tonight. As you can tell, some of us have been having a few PSN issues, me included, but we are here to take you through the action here tonight for League of You Division 1, and it's better late than never to get the stream started as well. 19 drivers about to do battle out on track. We have got a few new drivers, and I'll come on to them in just a second. But let's focus on what happened last week, as it's Louis who took the win from AlphaTrix. What does that do to the standings? Well, AlphaTrix still leads on 226 points, from Louis in second on 213. Montana is in third on 150 points, with Campbell in fourth on 119. Cantera in fifth on 117. Verstappen in sixth on 115. While Luigi in seventh on 90. A point behind is Alonso on 89. Then a big gap down to Cohen in 9th on 55, Bullet Boy in 10th on 53, then we've got Larkin in 11th on 39, Doom on 35, X-Jerry on 23, Chapelelli on 22, Toxic on 21, Spag and Chips on in 16th on 15 points, tied with Lakitu on 15 as well. Vaporizer not racing here tonight, he's on 11 points. Little Blocks is in 19th on 8, then we've got Decky and Mercurial Caesar on in 20th and 21st on 3 and 2 points respectively. Ghost, M Short, Vexum, Heldorn and Frocker not scoring any points just yet, and I'll come on to some of those new drivers in just a second. Mercedes lead the way in the Constructors' standings on 262 points, from Ferrari in second on 242 points. McLaren is in third on 183 points, with Red Bull in fourth on 174. Alfa Romeo is in fifth on 152, with Toro Rosso in sixth on 140. Haas in seventh on 138, Renault in 8th on 113, then we've got Williams in 9th on 54, and Sport Pass Racing Point down in 10th on 24 points. That is a really quick rundown of the standings. I do apologise if I have missed anything out there, but honestly, well, I've had like literally hell on earth trying to get a connection up and running. Thank God we are up and running. I can see the streamers live, which is fantastic. I won't come into your comment section. I can't do an interview, sadly, as I'd planned about 10 minutes beforehand. I was going to do it with QVR Campbell, so if he is listening to the stream, you will be spared for this week and this week only. I will try and catch up with you, of course, next week. Toxic, one of the first drivers then coming out on track. And I think it might be actually QVR Cohen who is coming out on track first. So, let's have a look at the track in prospect then. 18 corners around the Sochi Olympic Park, essentially, at the Sochi Autodrome. This, of course, parade holds to the 2014 Winter Olympics. You can see very famous stadiums around the vicinity of the track. There's the Fish Stadium where the opening ceremony. There is the ice hockey arena as well on the left hand side, and then down towards the Red Sea, quite literally this is a coastal resort. So Sochi is a coastal resort, and the sea is literally beyond the track by about 3/4 of a mile or so, I do believe. QVR Cohen then going on a set of soft compound of tyres. Let's speak about, though, one of our new drivers here tonight. It is Heldorn, formerly known as NSX Spike, who I've had the privilege to commentate on in the past in another league. And Heldorn should be a very good asset, I think, within the Williams. He is currently as a reserve, I do believe, coming into tonight. Same with Jay Frocker, he's not here tonight either, the German from the former ILRT man. He's not here tonight, but Heldorn is, and it'll be very interesting to see how he gets on out on track. I will try and tune into the comments section during the course of this stream. QVR Cohen in the Red Bull, though, going to begin off on a lap. There are the mountains as well here in Sochi. Cohen coming around the final couple of corners. Through turn 17 and now through turn 18 on his out lap, and now going to prepare for a wild one. On his lap he goes. Now coming towards turn 1, out on track. Through the kink of turn 1 and then down the straight towards turn 2. Can reach in excess of 210 mile an hour normally running down the straight. Easy for Cohen down towards turn 2 and 3. Very tricky chicane. Massive Formula 2 crash there 2 years ago, I do believe. Now through turn 4, through turn 3, very tricky turn 3. Got to get as tight into the apex as possible. There's the Fish Stadium on the left hand side, and now through turn 4 and towards the end of the first section. Cohen looking pretty neat through the first sector, I've got to say, 32.9, where you want to be, I think, for a good lap around here in Sochi. Kvyat Cohen then through turn 5, and now towards 6 and 7. Looking very good through there, I've got to say. Now towards turns 8 and 9, it can catch drivers out this corner, especially if you get onto the AstroTurf on the outside of the corner and onto the curb. There's the Olympic Village, by the way, on the left-hand side as he comes through turn 10, and now through the little kink at turn 11, and then right down the straight, in excess of 200 mile an hour down the straight once again, and Cohen on a good lap here so far. The Dutchman 104.4 through the middle sectors. He now comes under the arch, under the bridge there, and now comes towards this very tricky series of corners. Turn 15 and 16, again off camber, coming through turn 16, got to try and take this with a bit of alacrity on the outside wall, not hit that, and now down towards 17 and 18, and Cohen looking very good, I've got to say, on this lap. He's about to come around the final corner. What is his lap going to be? It's a 31.1. That is a very good lap to begin us off with here tonight. Just try and pick up on somebody then. He's coming around the final corner. Alpha Tricks already with a 130 flat. Toxic with a 131.5. Don't think he was running any ERS towards the end of his lap there, so Toxic backing in a bank lap. Verstappen going into third, 31.3. Louis is on a lap, but let's focus on M Short. Montana's replacement in the McLaren. Little Blocks also running in the McLaren here tonight as well. Spag and Chips has just gone 6th. Little Blocks has gone 3rd. M Short around the final corner. Coming across the line, goes 6th with a 31.7. Nice lap from him. Louis is coming around the final couple of corners now. Where is he going to be in terms of Alpha Trix' time? Is he going to be quicker than the championship leader? He's got his teammate ahead of him, and it will be a 130, just about a 130 there. Could have been a 129, but Louis out on top by 83 hundredths of a second out on track from Alpha Trix in second. Ciappellelli just coming in there for third position, a 30.8 from him, as we are nearly 5 minutes through the session already. June coming around the final corner has invalidated on a lap. Right on board then with Alonso as he comes around the final corner. Looking good. Alonso goes third, 30.7. Has really came about himself in the last couple of weeks, Alonso. Could be an outside chance for a good podium sitter, I think, here tonight. Alonso in third position, just ahead of his compadre there, the German Ciappellelli in fourth position. Heldon has invalidated on his lap. I was just going to go on board with him to see how he's doing, but he has invalidated on his lap. And the Williams man currently not on a lap, and I think he'll probably come back into the pit. So that's really the first round of qualifying times that have been done out on track, and it's Louis out on top from Alpha Trix in second. We go on board though with Waluigi, the ever-consistent Waluigi, the Belgian, coming around the final couple of corners. Looks like he's invalidated on this lap. I think that's M Short coming past him as well. Waluigi getting out of the way for Mercedes as well. I think that might be Louis coming through. So Waluigi coming around the final couple of corners, just to try and pick up on somebody that might be on a lap. Lakitu is, and the German coming around the final couple of corners. A very good performance from him in the last couple of weeks from Lakitu as he comes across the line. Could go third with this, goes fourth in fact, at 130.8 out on track. Let's go on board and hop on board with Cantera through the middle sector, 104.2 through the middle. Got Larkin ahead as well out on track, so Larkin coming around the final couple of corners, and the Ferrari man looking to pulse this probably around Toxic M Short sort of area. Oh, and he goes right in between. That's the first prediction I've got right all night, which is fantastic to see, and he goes into 10th position out on track. June coming back into the pits is invalidated again. Not really been doing great, I've got to say, June within past performances, but the Spaniard into the pits. That's the first round then of pit stops, pretty much of qualifying times pretty much done, and it's Louis out on top from Alpha Trix in second and Alonso in third. Let me say hello then to you beautiful, beautiful human beings in the chat here, as we have started a couple of minutes late, as I say, mainly because of connection issues. Do apologise, of course. Looking at the comment section, DSC incoming, says Ciappellelli. Gary says thank God. Yeah, thank God indeed. All dry, says Bullet Boy. Good evening to Bullet Boy as well. Go Alonso, make the Minister of Infrastructure of Germany proud by surviving those issues. Of course, not the only German out on track. Ciappellelli and Lakitu, just in behind him, are also Germans. So just to clarify on that, we do have 3 Germans, I think, on the grid here tonight, as we always do here in Division 1. Let's focus then on who I was going to interview. Kvyat Campbell, he's just invalidated on a lap, so I think he's probably invalidated lap through turn 2. Campbell now on a down lap. go on board with Alpha Tricks, I think, in the meantime. He's just coming around the final couple of corners. Yeah, he's just at the end of the middle sector there now, coming into turns 15 and 16 out on track. Louis ahead of him by 800ths of a second currently, and if you are just tuning in to League of Europe Division 1, I, of course, am James Hay, going to be taking you through the action, as always, here in Division 1. Another lockdown Saturday, but you're best in company with me and the guys out on track for Division 1 action here in League of Europe. Alpha Tricks coming round, first corner then, and now down towards turn 2. There's a car coming out the pits. That looks like it's held on coming out the pits. It is, and he's just came out of the pits. Alpha Tricks now through turn 2. Where Matsushita, of course, went off in 2019 Formula 2. Around here, Alpha Tricks coming through turn 3. Very twisting 180-degree corner. Now through a 90-degree right-hander and towards the end of the first sector. And Alpha Tricks 600ths up. He's only got to find a little bit more time to go ahead of Louis, but I think Louis might be holding something back, to be honest, here tonight. Alpha Tricks coming through the middle sector. Runs on to the inside of the curve there. Looking nice through there, and again, Alpha Tricks really shaping up through the middle sector here. The Olympic Village just in front of him on the left-hand side as we go through and cut through the 90-degree corner. Now opens up the second DRS zone out on track. He comes now down towards the formidable turn 13 out on track, and he should take this, and he's just about a tenth up at the moment. Can Alpha Tricks go quicker than Louis out on track? Remember, there's still 8 minutes to go. Anything can probably change, and it probably will. It's Division 1 at the end of the day. Alpha Tricks now coming around in the final couple of corners through 15 and 16. Just runs wide slightly. A bit messy through there, if I've got to be honest, but Alpha Tricks now coming around the final corner. I'm going to bank this on for 29.8, to be honest, and Alpha Tricks in fact runs wide, runs completely off track. It's a 29.9. Whether that lap time will be re-invalidated remains to be seen, because he track extended a bit there, I've got to say, through the final corner. And I have commentated on leagues in the past where they do punish you for track extensions at that corner. Hopefully we're not going to see that tonight. Verstappen, by the way, on a lap, just coming through turn 16, catching the curb nicely, nearly hitting the barrier there on the inside. He took it so well. So Verstappen coming around the final couple of corners, probably going to go ahead of Cohen, I think, with this lap. Comes across the line. He does indeed go ahead of Cohen, about 500ths off Cantera as well. So he goes into 7th. I think we've got Schiaparelli on a lap. He's coming through under the bridge section through the final sector. Well, Alpha Tricks' lap is still validated with a 29.9. Louis in second, Alonso in third. Lakiti fourth, Schiaparelli in fifth. 30.8 though from Schiaparelli, currently out on track. About 8 seconds from the F1 2019 holdings as he goes underneath that. And Schiaparelli coming around the final corner, really eyeing this up for third place, currently out on track. Third position for Schiaparelli out on track. 130.4. Let's try and run on board with somebody else further down the field. Toxic into the pits. Heldorn coming through the final sector, as is Doom. So Doom coming around the final corner, in fact. Doom across the line goes 5th. We'll quickly go on board with Heldorn as he comes through the final couple of corners. There was another move up there, I think. It was Lakitu possibly going 6th with a 30.8. I think that's what we might have just seen there. Heldorn coming around the final couple of corners. Across the line, goes 8th, 30.9. You can really see how tight this grid actually is. Top 9 separated by just less than a second. That will get closer as the session progresses, I think, out on track. Larkin 1,000 up through the first sector. Just trying to pick on board with somebody that is on a lap. Louis had an invalidation. Alonso, however, is on a lap. He's 300 up through the middle sectors. He now comes through turn 14. Been very good through there, but I've got to say, in the German, the crowds begin to come over this side of the track through sector 3 here, and Alonso coming around the final couple of corners now. We go on board with the Haas man. He comes through the final couple of corners out on track. Could go third with this. Alonso across the line, just shy of third, improved by an 82 tenths of a second, a 130.5 there from Alonso. Kitu, by the way, didn't improve on his lap. Cantera getting a bit of a toll from June. He's now 900 up as a result, and that is the fastest middle sector of the night so far from Cantera. 30.9. Whether he improves on it, then it remains to be seen. He hasn't got his teammate ahead of him for the final couple of corners, so Cantera has got to be on the money here to try and go a little bit closer. I've just seen, I think, Larkin move up into 11th position there, so Larkin up into 11th. Cantera across the line goes 5th. found nearly 3/10 of a second there. A tenth of a second, in fact, found more than that in the final sector, and Cantera goes 5th with a 30.6. Louis again has invalidated on his lap. Campbell coming around the final couple of corners, the Scotsman. Division 2 champion, of course, last season. Just looks like he's struggling possibly on this lap. He comes around the final corner. Be 131, yeah, 131.1. Disappointing really there from Campbell. Expect a bit more of him. Larkin is invalidated. Cantera is on a down lap, as is Alonso, as is Louis. He's 200th up. Bullet Boy. Let's go on board with Bullet Boy, who is on a set of soft compound tyres and is already nearly 5/10 up through the first sector. That's because he switched from the hards onto the softs. Normally when Bullet Boy qualifies and switches the tyres, he qualifies well up there. So I think Bullet Boy, no pressure if he's listening to me within the comments sector, within the stream, and on the stream I should say. Bullet Boy coming through turn 9, looking very nice through there. Now down towards through turn 11. That was turn 10, that's now through turn 11, and then towards turn 12 and 13 at the bottom of the hill here before coming through 14. And he's a second and a half up through the middle sector, so Bullet Boy now through 13 and into 14. Looking very nice through there. Really eyeing up this lap well here, Bullet Boy. He should be going around possibly the Verstappen Cohen maybe sort of area I'm thinking about with this lap. He comes under the final couple of corners now. Bullet Boy through turn 17 and through turn 18. Looking like a very good lap this actually. Bullet Boy across the line goes 5th with a 30.6. You can ignore what I said about him being around held on Verstappen sort of area. Bullet Boy goes 5th behind his teammate, and I said when he switches to a compound of tyres that he's more formidable on, he qualifies well up there, and that's exactly what's been done, and that is not how you take turn 2. Let's see then if there's anybody else out on track. Toxic is out on track. TTG Toxic coming through the final, into the final sector now. 104.4 through the middle sector. Seems to be real consistency through the middle sector. And that Rocket Williams coming through turn 14. Or he runs wide. That might be an invalid lap. Yeah, he's going to come into the pits, I think. Not happy with that. Just took a little bit too much speed. If he just dabbed a little bit of brake going through the corner there, he would have been able to manage the control of the car through there much easier than normal. And I think Toxic should have really tried to do that. But honestly, out on track, these guys, this is why I'm in the comments. I'm in the commentary box. He's there out on track. Toxic just struggling there slightly, but I'm sure he will get it up for his final run out on track. Spag and Chips out on track. No, that is not my tea that I've just had. Spag is now on a lap and he's in the Toro Rosso out on track. Of course, AlphaTauri, as they're now called in F1 20, or will be called in F1 2020, to be released on the 10th of July. And I'm sure you guys will want to discuss about that in the comment section as well. Spag coming through towards the end of the middle sector. 104.7 through the middle sector, a little bit shy of what Toxic set before he ran wide through this corner here, through turn 14. But Spag making sure the control is very nice through there. And the drift coming around the final couple of corners. Got yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. That's a Renault, I think, going a little bit slow. Might be X-Jerry on an outlap, I think it is. And Spag now around the final couple of corners. Shut him through more, and he has a bit of a snap of oversteer. Tries to Tokyo drift it through the final corner. Well, I can't really give him 10 for effort there, to be honest. But he's into the wall. That might be his session over and done with. Spag has recovered the car. And he lets the Red Bull go that's ahead of him, but he's all over the place. You can see something is up with his setup there. I think that might be the end of his session out on track. So Spag, no points for showing off there, I'm afraid. But good try to recover, and at least he hit the wall backwards rather than forwards, because he would have picked up a bit of damage out on track. Let's focus then with 55 seconds to go here. It's AlphaTrix who leads from a Louis in second in this qualifying session. And we go on board with our current championship leader. We've got Louis coming through the final sector. So AlphaTrix will focus on the main two. And we'll also focus on the guys that are up there towards the front end of the grid. AlphaTrix coming through turn 4 that was. Now towards turn 5. 32.5 through the middle sector, through the first sector, he's 300th down, into the middle sector he goes. think that was June just sticking up there into... No, hang on. It was Verstappen going 7th. Verstappen 7th, 130.6 from Verstappen out on track. Alphatrix, though, currently out on top. Can he find the time through the middle sector? Now, on his lap, he was very consistent on his lap. It's going to take another good lap from Alphatrix to try and get this. The end of qualifying about to come. Sadly, no Bullet Boy out on track. I think the guys have got 30 seconds in terms of to try and get across the line because of that timing glitch we've still got. Cohen hasn't made it. Neither is M Short out on track either. Alphatrix then coming through the final couple of corners. I think it was purple through the middle sector. So Alphatrix looking good here. Now coming towards the final couple of corners. The track now beginning to change in terms of the cloud cover. Alphatrix, oh, he's invalidated through turn 17. And he cuts through turn 18. It would have been a 29.7. But Louis on a lap. Lakitu was gone 4th, by the way. So Lakitu was gone 4th. Chapelletti coming through the final couple of corners. He is 3/10 down and invalidated. So we'll not focus on him. And Louis is invalidated as well. So Louis has invalidated out on track. Lakitu's not on a lap. Neither is Verstappen. Cantera is, though. Can the Alfa Romeo man put it up there? He goes 6th. Good lap from him. Doom not on a lap. Held on. NSX Spike, formerly known as, of course, 4/10 of a second. Could improve here, held on. Could be going maybe 3rd or 4th with this lap. A very tentative 3rd and 4th, but held on could do this. He's round the final couple of corners now. Through turn 16, on towards turn 17 and 18 for the final time in this qualifying session. And held on just has a bit of snap of oversteer. Through the final corner, look very quick through there. Goes 4th. So my prediction again coming right there. Held on goes 4th. Alonso sticks to 3rd. Larkin is on a lap. Squirrels it across the line. Improved by about a 10th and a half. It was an invalid lap, I think, actually, from Larkin. And that's the end of qualifying. So Alphatrix takes it from Louis. QVR Cohen has left the session. Lakitu is retired. But Alphatrix has taken it out on track and defeats Louis in the qualifying session, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for just the 2nd time this season. So Louis has got it all to do. But I think around this track, I think Louis has probably got the advantage. He's in behind Alphatrix. The main two are going to do battle here out on track tonight. And this is a championship showdown in Russia. So Alphatrix takes a look at how consistent the times were. Alonso and Heldon, same lap time actually out on track. Alphatrix though on top in qualifying from Louis in 2nd, Alonso in 3rd, Heldon in 4th. Good qualifying from him on his debut. Lakitu in 5th, Chapelletti in 6th, Cantera 7th, Little Blocks in 8th, Bullet Boy in 9th, Verstappen in 10th. Doom in 11th, Cohen in 12th. Hopefully we can get him back. While Luigi is in 13th, 9/10 separating the top 13. M Short in 14th, Larkin in 15th, Campbell 16th, Toxic 17th, Spag in 18th, and X-Jarry in 19th position. Remember, 11th down to 19th will start on a fresh compound of tyres, whatever the guys might choose out on track. The top 10 will qualify on their tyres. Softs to mediums probably can work a one-stop around here. But softs to hards, I think, could be the way to go if anybody wants to do that. Sadly, QVR Cohen has disconnected from the session, so it looks like we're down to 18 drivers coming into this race. And let me have a look then at what guys have been coming in, or what things have been happening within the comment section and within Division 1. Yeah, Cohen thinking it might be his network which has caused him to disconnect. It's a shame. Vexham didn't get an invite, so he couldn't join. You have to take it up with Gary, I'm afraid, on that one. Let me have a look then at the comment section as we come into tonight. 15 seconds for the countdown, of course. To begin, Division 3 is also live, by the way. Tiger Gull and XL Hardy and Callum, your top 3, I think, in that one. But Division 1, 25 viewers. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in here tonight. Russia will begin very soon indeed. Alphatrix and Louis, 27 laps worth of a potential championship showdown. That is what I'm calling it here. Because remember, coming into tonight, Louis is only, I think, 13 points off the back of Alphatrix coming into tonight. This is game on. This is for a potential advantage within the championship here tonight. Held on saying, especially with a DRS failure, he couldn't go flat within turn 3. But good luck though nonetheless. I think he probably would have got third, maybe even challenged Louis for 2nd as well. But looking through, good evening to Palmer, who is coming in as well. I look forward to watching the pros before I turn into Sebastian Vettel. He is commented on there. Of course, Palmer is a Division 4 driver, I do believe, coming into tonight. Let's have a look then at the strategies as I run the stream alongside me. Everyone on the top 10 on a set of soft compound of tyres. Everyone else, though, with the exception of Cohen, who's not here, Campbell and Spag are on a set of soft compound of tyres. Now, they will gain ground early on, probably within the opening, I would say, 5-6 laps before the tyres really start to degrade. It could be even between 4 and 5 laps the tyres start to degrade severely around here in Russia. The tyre degradation quite high for this track. It's about 4.5%, 5%. Lord, Louis has gone straight on now on his formation lap. Goodness me. Louis going straight on, not sure what happened there, but in the meantime we are just moments away for the Russian Grand Prix. Get your predictions in quickly if you want to have a bet on it, of course, and I do not promote that. We don't promote gambling here within League of Europe, but if you want to make a prediction anyways, you can do. 27 laps then await the drivers out on track. Got the final couple of cars snaking through turns 15 and 16, and Alpha Trix is about to join up on track in front in his prime spot. Alpha Trix and Louis, 5 races to go in the championship, 13 points separating coming into tonight, 226 to 213, and Alpha Trix will be hoping he can try and outgun Louis and what has been a Louis domination of recent weeks. Can Alpha Trix do it tonight here in Russia? Well, you'll find out in just a few moments' time as we are about to get going here. The 5 red lights are about to go out here in Russia for round 15 of the championship. Light down, away we go. Alpha Trix gets a very, very good start. Louis bogs down off the start slightly, but will tuck into the slipstream with Alonso in behind. Heldorn, Chapelelli, Lakitu's missed a couple of positions. Kvyat Cohen's AI car obviously hasn't started. Alpha Trix and Louis though, side by side down towards turn 2, and Heldorn's up there third, and Alonso's being swapped as well as VLT Chapelelli tries to go around the outside, and Louis and Alpha Trix make contact for the lead. A little bit of a spin in the background there from Larkin. He is round in the background, but everyone through turn 3, and Alpha Trix leads early on from Louis in second. Heldorn in third. Look at Chapelelli trying to go around the outside of Alonso, trying to get this move done. He doesn't. The 2 Germans find it out. Cantera's in behind. He's on the inside line. That is Bullet Boy trying to get through early on as well. Bullet Boy up to 7th. The key to it, there's been a little bit of contact in the background. M. Short, I think, caught up in a bit of an incident there. But the 2 main championship protagonists, 3/10 separating at the end of the first sector. Now coming halfway through the middle sector, it's Alpha Trix who leads from Louis in second. Heldorn with a very good start in third. He could try and be the surprise party possibly here. Alonso in 4th, Chapelelli 5th, Pantera 6th as they wind down through turn 11 and now down towards the end of the straight here. Little Box is on the back of Lakitu. We take on board then with the McLaren man who's trying to go all the way around the outside of Lakitu. This will be bold if he can pull it off. Little Box around the outside, job done, what a move. The McLaren man, he might be a reserve, but I tell you what, Little Box has pulled off a great move already. If that's a sign of things to come, then we are in for a right treat. Little Box moving up to P8, what a move that is. Bullet Boy on the back of Cantera as well, but at the end of lap 1, quite a few pitching in. I think Campbell is pitching in and Toxic possibly pitching in as well. No, Campbell and Doom are the 2 to pit in. Larkin I think will be pitching in as well, but the end of lap 1, very good lap 1 I've got to say on the whole. Alpha Trix leads 4/10 of a second from Louis in second. Louis has got the gauntlet thrown to him here tonight, and the Ferrari man currently out on track in first. Louis in second with Heldorn in third. There's Alonso in fourth. Chapelelli in fifth. The side by side though in the background through turn 3. Verstappen sneaking up on the inside of Lakitu. So Lakitu clearly struggling. Has he got any visible front wing damage? He hasn't. So Lakitu maybe just struggling for tyres at this stage. Verstappen did go through down the straight, I think, into turn 2. So he's up into 9th position. Apologies, I missed that, I think, out on the screen. But very good start. Let's have a look at the main position gainers, and Spag and Chips is up 7 positions early on in 11th from 18th position on the grid. Very good start from him. Toxic has gained 4, Xjari has gained 4 as well, but that probably is a chief of some of the guys coming into the pit. However, Louis is getting onto the back of Alpha Trix. Remember, they can only do this the old-fashioned way in F1 on the opening 2 laps of the race. And Alpha Trix is 3/10 ahead of Louis. Oh, he gets very tight actually to the wall there, Alpha Trix. Gives Louis a little bit of a bite to the cherry. Coming towards turns 15 and 16 for the second time out on track, and Doom has retired. Doom has retired out on track, and a VSC has been deployed. So Doom has lost it out on track, and Louis coming into the pits. So Louis comes into the pits. He's surely not going to go 25 laps on a set of hards. That is impossible to do. Louis is into the pits, however, though, this is going to be interesting. He's onto a set of medium compound of tyres. So Louis in on a set of mediums. In fact, half of the grid coming in. Lickelblocks is in, Verstappen in. Lakitu is also in as well. And Lakitu has just been held up slightly. He goes onto a set of hard compound of tyres. So different in the strategy for the Mercedes gang here. Spag has been held up with Verstappen coming into the pits, so both of them getting a double stack there. Campbell might be ahead of these guys soon. Lickelblocks is out in a set of mediums. Lakitu then the only exception rather than the rule. Everyone else on a set of medium compound tyre. The VSC I think is about to end, and it is, and Larkin has got a drive-through penalty. We're back underway. First VSC of the night. Doom retiring out on track through turn 6 I think it was. So AlphaTrix now in the lead of the race, but a very interesting strategy call by Louis. I've got to be honest, I haven't seen that under a VSC before around here in Russia, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this race pans out. But DRS is now enabled, I can't guarantee you that. Held on as 9/10 off on AlphaTrix. You can see the DRS actually opening on track. So held on trying to gain on AlphaTrix, but everyone just spread out quite evenly, to be honest, through the opening couple of laps. Toxic trying to eye up on a move here of Waluigi. This has really split the race apart. Toxic on the back of Waluigi, the Belgian. Oh, the bridge just going a little bit too deep there. Just leaves a little bit of time, but that's to try and eye him up through turn 14. And he's gained just a brief bit of time, a brief respite. The Toxic on the back of Waluigi. Is Bullet Boy going to be close enough, I wonder, to the back of Cantera just ahead? 5th and 6th. They go on to lap 4. Bullard has been knocked out of the way there kindly by Bullet Boy, and is now on the back of Cantera. But these guys are stuck in a bit of a DRS train. What I like to call a DRS train, of course, is where the guys, multiple cars out on track, are pretty much within a DRS train, and they are stuck in that, and they can't get any overtakes done. Schiaparelli, in the meantime, is gaining on Alonso. 0.5 of a second separating as they come through the flat 180-degree corner of turn 3. Don't take that, by the way, if you've got wearing tyres at flat speed, because honestly, it is like hell on earth, and you'll probably end up spinning the car eventually. Larkin into the bits, by the way, for his drive-through. He rejoins in behind Spag, so only 2 out of the race. Cohen leaving after qualifying. Larkin, Doom is also out of the race after that crash and causing the VSC. So Schiaparelli is on the back of Alonso. 0.5 of a second here. AlphaTrix who leads, held on in 2nd, Alonso in 3rd. Main position gainers, Toxic up 9. That's probably because there's been a little bit of a split within the field. So Larkin, by the way, was in front of Louis. Louis now 9 seconds to catch on ex-Jarry. On the back, though, Schiaparelli is on the back of Alonso, and he's 3rd and 4th currently at this stage. And you can see, actually, out on track, who has pitted and who hasn't because of the VSC. Pretty much everyone down. Campbell and Spag pitted early as a result of damage, but the rest, Louis, Little, Verstappen, Lakitu and Campbell, all pitted in on a set of medium compound of tyres, and Lakitu, the exception rather than the rule, going on a set of hard compound of tyres. Nobody looking really close enough for a move. Schiaparelli looks like he's got a good straight line speed setup, trying to get onto the back of Alonso. Down towards turn 2 once again. My choice of drink, by the way, tonight is a lemon and lime sparkling water. I've been really getting into that after I've been working out pretty much through every single day of the week. The Schiaparelli is on the back of Alonso for P3. It's AlphaTrix though who leads, 1.4 seconds from held on in 2nd. Alonso in 3rd. We'll take you on board then with the German, who's a 10th up through the 1st sector. You should see the improvement on the fastest lap, by the way, come this lap, I think. The Schiaparelli is on the back of Alonso. And thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. I think this might be the biggest Division 1 viewing we've had all season here in Russia. So thank you very much to everyone, every single one of you who is tuning in tonight. And of course, if you have got any comments or any support for any of our drivers out on track tonight, you can do that. And of course, you can follow the league, of course, at League of Europe on Twitter to stay up to date with everything that is going on. Schiaparelli on the back of Alonso still not quite close enough for the move in the meantime. We can show the gap to the leader. Yeah, we can indeed, Sheen. 1.5 seconds between Alphatrix and Heldorn. Out of the guys, in terms of the gap between Louis and Alphatrix, that is the main sticking point, I think. So take that gap as it is currently. 19.7 seconds. Heldorn into the pits. We'll catch on board with this in just a second. But just to repeat, that gap, 19.7 seconds currently as it stands out on track between Louis and Alphatrix. So Louis currently will be in 10th as Heldorn is into the pits here. And he's into the pits. His pit crew are ready for him. I can guarantee you they're ready for him. He's going to come out of the pit box now. Didn't look like it on my screen, but it did on his. Trust me on that one. 36 viewers, by the way, viewing. Thank you very much to every one of you tuning in. So Heldorn out, I think, just ahead of Littleblock. So that's not too bad, actually, for Louis. So he's got about a 7-second gap to Heldorn. Let's go to the interval timings again just to confirm that. It's about 6 seconds. Littleblock is behind by 7/10 of a second. Chapelleri then, in the meantime, on the back of Alonso. And now Alonso has lost his DRS, essentially. He has lost his DRS because Heldorn came out of the pits. Came into the pits, I should say. And Chapelleri now has got a big opportunity here to try and capitalise on this. And the Racing Point is going to try and close on the hats. 5/10 of a second currently. You can see the gap markedly coming down the straight. Chapelleri got a very good straight line speed up, 203 mile an hour down into the braking zone, and that is how close he got, quite literally on the brakes. Very, very tight there. Bullet Boy trying to catch on Cantera as well. And Chapelleri's just dropped Cantera out of his DRS as well. So this is really planning into Chapelleri's hands at this stage. Alphatrix into the pits from the lead of the race. Alonso's coming in as well. Chapelleri will go on for an extra lap. So Alphatrix then into the lead of the race. And the interval timing, the leader's timing, 19.5 seconds. Louis has only gained, as a result, currently out on track, 0.2 of a second on this lap. It's not that great. He's on a set of mediums. Alphatrix now onto a set of mediums as well. So Louis could be trying a two-stop strategy. Alphatrix though, Louis is out of the final corner. Let's ride on board. We'll see him on the right-hand side soon, Alphatrix, as he comes round the final, as he comes through turn 1. There is Alphatrix just coming out of the pit lane ahead. In fact, he's behind him. Alphatrix is miles behind Louis. So that's my mistake, that's my eyesight going completely and utterly wrong. Alphatrix is out 4.5 seconds behind Louis. Wow. Undercut to perfection possibly for Louis, but what he's got to try and deal with is the tyres degrading. I can't see, personally, those tyres getting to the end of the race. Bit of a battle developing further down the field though, Cantera and Lakitu. So it is essentially Louis' shadow man, wingman, currently out on track against Cantera. Of course, June being out of the race, but Cantera is on the back of Lakitu, coming through turn 5. Not looking too bad through there, now through 6 and 7. And Cantera coming up towards the back of Lakitu. So on a sort of hard compound of tyres, remember Lakitu. Might not put up too much of a fight, but Cantera, I think, will try and get this done sooner rather than later. And he in theory, could be currently within the next 7th position, I think, out on track, when everyone decides to come in front of him. So Cantera possibly on for net 7th currently out on track. That's just literally a guess from me. I don't know when if he's going to be in net 7th or not. If he is, then you can pay me a $5 through the stream. Thank you very much. Toxic on the back of Waluigi. Chapelleri and Bullet Boy, by the way, are into the pits. Spag has got the overtake done on Campbell, so the Torosso is through down the inside, down the strip. And now Toxic is freed up. Chapelleri and Bullet Boy into the pits from the lead of the race. Now puts Waluigi into the lead of the race. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that Waluigi has led a race this season out on track, albeit because he hasn't been in the pits. But Waluigi is now in the lead of the race by 0.4 of a second from Toxic in second. But Toxic delivering a good performance here so far. And everyone pretty much still going around out on track. The only DNFer out on track is between Larkin. I'm going to cut on board though, because Cantera and Bullet Boy, I think Bullet Boy has just got out of the pits then. Cantera has had to be forced off track. I'm not sure what occurred in the lead up to that, but Bullet Boy, I think, has just came out of the pits and has came out ahead of Cantera. So I'm not sure if they tried to go side by side through there. In the meantime, though, Alonso has came out in a tiny bit of traffic. Little Block's just ahead. He's on 5 lap old medium compound of tyres. He's going to try possibly a 2-stop, I think. Again, I'm not a whiz when it comes to strategies. That's why I'm in the commentary box and taking you guys through the action here out on track. Toxic closing up on Waluigi down towards turn 13. Not going to get the move done here, but the Sochi Autodrome always provides some good battles, even if the drivers hate it. I love it for overtaking purposes. And out on track, Little Blocks and Alonso are side by side. Alonso down to the inside line here on Little Blocks, getting the move done. Schiaparelli trying to thread the other needle as well. Oh, a little bit of contact actually by Little. That's really to do with the camber of the corner. Little Blocks holding on to the position from Schiaparelli, but he's lost that position to Alonso. So Alonso up into 8th as a result. Schiaparelli is trying to desperately get past here. He's on fresher tyres. Both of these guys, though, will have the DRS. Toxic is on the back as well. On the back of Waluigi. This is for the lead of the race. We come beautifully on board, actually, as Toxic down the inside gets the move through turn 2, gets the move done. Waluigi could switch us down the inside line. I have seen overtakes done here before, but not quite. Toxic leads the way from Waluigi in second. Everyone in behind. Little Blocks pulling out of the slipstream on Alonso, but again, Schiaparelli not close enough. Extravi 3 second time penalty as he was coming through turn 4 there. But out on track, a lot of good moves beginning to happen, and I think we're not going to be short of any moments here within the Division 1, as my voice cracks completely there. Goodness me, that's the first time you've ever heard that on a Division 1 stream. Little Blocks on the back of Alonso. 4/10 of a second pretty much between these two. And Little, what he's got to do essentially is try and hold up Schiaparelli so Alonso can try and get ahead. He's got to remember as well, his teammate M Short is in 3rd position out on track. He's going to be coming under pressure from Xjarry, the Renault driver, but Little Blocks currently out on track. We'll be hoping that Schiaparelli hasn't got the speed, and he just looks a little bit lethargic actually going through on his setup currently. He's almost as if he has replaced straight cornering speed for straight line speed. That's not what you want to do, I think, around this track. Cantera on the back of Lakitu, trying to get close to try and get the move done. He isn't. Bullet Boy is right on the back of Verstappen as well. We could see a lot of good overtaking opportunities here. We have just gone through 1/3 distance, and it is now lap 10 out of 27. Toxic leads by 1/8 of a second. Here comes Cantera on the back of Lakitu, though, further down the field. This is for 13th and 14th currently out on track. Remember, undercut quite potent around here, so the guys ahead might be getting the slipstream. Bullet Boy right on the back of Verstappen. He's down on the inside line through turn 1. Can he get the move done? Of course he can. He's opened up the DRS. That move is signed, sealed and delivered. Bullet Boy is through and he's up into 11th, and Lakitu trying to do the same. Cantera trying to do the same on Lakitu, trying to get the move done. He doesn't, and Cantera holds on for 14th position out on track, but he's going to try and switch it around the outside here. I've seen many moves pulled off of here before, but not quite for Cantera. Didn't have the speed to get through on Lakitu then. Verstappen then on the back of Bullet Boy, trying to go further up the field then. Louis is on the back of Xjarry. 4.2 seconds separating Louis and Alpha Trix, and remember, that is for the next battle for the lead. Louis on the back of Xjarry. I think Xjarry is a sitting duck here. M Short could even be more of a sitting duck, but he got the run on Xjarry. Louis has gone through quite easily in the end on Xjarry, getting the DRS, getting the move done. He's up into 4th, but now the McLaren has got to try and fight a rampaging Louis. And what Louis has done now actually is get the overtake done on Xjarry. These guys fight, Alpha Trix will get closer. He's essentially put a car in, which is essentially traffic in inverted commas. Alpha Trix has now got to try and fight through these guys. Louis will dispose of these guys sooner rather than later. Louis is on the back then of M Short. This is for 3rd position. On to lap 11 we go. Alpha Trix, new fastest lap of the race. He's in clear air, so that's probably why. Louis down the inside line then, and this is probably going to be one of the easiest overtakes you might see all night. Louis through down the inside line on M Short. He's through and he's up to 3rd, and Cantera is out. Cantera is out of the race. That was a retirement in the pit lane, I do believe, from Cantera. So not sure what's happened there for the medium compound runner on the in the Alfa Romeo. Schiaparelli is on the back of Little Blocks in the meantime. So both Alfa Romeos out of the race and not going any further with this race. Verstappen on the back of Bullet Boy. Not going to get the move done though. 11th and 12th position. Cantera, by the way, hit that yellow flag, will get removed. He will go on straight in towards turn 2, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, and that's how the AI normally works around here. Lakitu is 2 seconds off these guys, Bullet Boy and Verstappen. Schiaparelli trying to get through on Nickel Blocks as well. Everyone quite close, but not really close enough for an overtake, if you know what I mean by that. Nickel Blocks in 9th, Schiaparelli in 10th. Cantera, by the way, has now, his AI has pulled off halfway down the straight, and Cantera leads the session. We thank him, though, for attending. Schiaparelli then on the back of Little Blocks. Down the inside goes the German on the brakes. Good battling this between these both. And Schiaparelli repays the favour, ran the outside of Lickle blocks. Lickle did it to him earlier on in the race, but Schiaparelli is back through on fresher compound tyres, ran the outside through turn 14, a very difficult overtaking place to do, but the German is through and he's up into 9th position. Good move there by Schiaparelli to get that one done on Lickle blocks. Still 5/10 of a second, so that can easily come back into another fight. In the meantime, though, Xavier Mem Short looking quite close. We'll go back on board with a battle for the lead because Toxic leads. Waluigi, though, beginning to sense up an opportunity. Bullet Boy has retired from the session, so Bullet Boy has now retired from the session. Not sure what it is with people retiring, to be honest, in the pit lane. Obviously, if they're not having a good race, top 12 can pay points. Anything can happen. There could be a safety car. Really, man up and try and fight for points. That's what I say here in Division 1. Toxic leads the way, but Waluigi, and look at this, the charging man of Louis, S2V Louis, of course. He's in 3rd, and he's on the back of Waluigi, and it's going to be sooner rather than later, I think, this move actually gets done. Unfortunately, Bullet Boy lost all of his front wings, so I didn't catch on board with that. X-Jarry and M Short side by side. X-Jarry on the inside line, M Short on the inside line now through turn 13, but X-Jarry had that move done, had the car ahead, got the move done. X-Jarry through, is up into 4th position. Just back on board then with the comments. Is the stream crashing for anyone else? I hope not. I hope the stream is crashing for nobody else. Louis is on the back of Waluigi. It might be down to internet connection more than anything else. You can tell thingy out on track, but Louis is on the back of Waluigi, and job done pretty much through turn 1 already. He could try and get the run on Toxic as well. He goes into the slipstream with Toxic. He's not going to be close enough down towards turn 1, so Louis through, he's up to 2nd. Alpha Trix is trying to fight through a little bit of traffic here as well. He's down the inside through turn 2, the championship leader, and he's through on M Short, and he's up into 5th position. And Schiaparelli gets the move done down through turn 2. Turn 2, a very good overtaking opportunity here for the guys out on track. So Schiaparelli is through, and Alonso though trying to get maybe a little bit of heat into the tyres. I'm sure I saw him weaving there to try and get a little bit of heat into those tyres. So Alonso, 3-second time penalty. It's just a little bit of a weave going through the corner to try and get a little bit of tyres. Trying to probably get rid of the blistering that might be occurring on that medium compound of tyre. But Toxic leads, but he's now under pressure. S2V Louis and TTG Toxic. And while you can sense where this one's going, Toxic didn't even need to fight that. Louis is through, he's up into the lead of the race. Toxic will try and come back at him, but he's not going to get the move done. Alpha Trix is through on X-Jarry as well. So the main 2 championship leaders, Louis currently, as we approach the halfway stage, has outsmarted Alpha Trix out on track so far. He needs this to try and get back into the race for the championship. 13 points, remember, coming into tonight. Louis on 2-1-3, Alpha Trix on 2-2-6 in terms of the championship battle here out on track tonight. It is Louis who leads the way. He has got, in terms of the gap to the leader, a 4-second gap over Alpha Trix at this stage, and this is for a net. Alpha Trix will obviously go into 2nd place when Toxic and Waluigi pit, but this is currently for a net 2nd. Alpha Trix in 4 seconds behind Louis at this stage. X-Jarry trying to keep up with him. Short game trying to keep up with him as well. Held on though, looks like he's being taught a little, and now the Dutchman getting the pressure from the German here out on track. Schiaparelli 1.5 seconds in behind, but is gaining. He's on 2-lap pressure tyres. The German will hope to try and gain here on the Williams out on track. Again, big thank you to everyone that is tuning in tonight. I know it is very tough out there, and I know we are going to be in this lockdown for probably a lot longer to come. But you're in the right place. You've got the right person leading you through this commentary. And if you're wanting to see racing action, this is the place to come. League of Europe. And of course, I will reiterate what I said earlier. You can follow the league on Twitter at League of Europe if you want to try and get involved with any future championships that we may run. I know GT Sport's full. That was a bit of a disaster, to be honest, on Wednesday, but still it was quite good fun, and Boost has been turned off for Wednesday. So if you're a fan of no Boost, come and tune in for Wednesday. You might even see me out on track. for that. Waluigi is on the back of Toxic. 5/10 of a second now, separating who were the leaders of the race at one stage. Lap 15 now, it is Alphatrix who is in 4th position, just in behind these guys. But it's Louis who leads, Toxic 2nd, Waluigi in 3rd. Alphatrix in 4th, and Little Blocks has DNF'd it out of the race, and that is through the final corner. Not sure what has happened there. I think he's got caught on the outside curb. Another VSC out on track. So VSC has been deployed out on track. Spike could use this as an opportunity to try and pit in, but he doesn't. Campbell is, however, going to pit in. No, he's not. He had a second thinking of that, and Larkin doing the same. They had a bit of a second think there, I've got to be honest, them two. So Campbell and Larkin. Now to 13th and 14th. It is pretty hard out on track here. You can see the DNS now beginning to tell. The guys in behind, like the likes of Spag, Campbell, Larkin, are still trooping on out on track, and they're now within range to get some points. Now within range to get some points, while Luigi is on the back of Toxic. We should see the VSC end very soon indeed, I do believe. Probably within the next 5 seconds or so, I would imagine. But Louis coming through 2.7 seconds ahead. So the VSC now, pretty much 5-10 seconds later, it has now been, it's now ended, and Waluigi is now on the back of Toxic. And DRS once again re-enabled out on track as we come past towards the car park here at the Sochi Autodrome. Of course, famously used in the 2014 Winter Olympics, hosted the 2014 Winter Olympics. And I'll try and guide you through some of the sights of this Olympic track, essentially, out on track for the Formula 1 guys. The Fish Stadium just in the background of shot. There's Louis Lowe who leads, 2.6 seconds. As a result of that VSC, Louis is getting 5/10 of a second on Alphatrix. So that is quite interesting, to be honest. Alphatrix has gained, has lost time on Louis. Somebody that has gained time though out on track, Chapelli is on the back of Heldorn at 7/10 of a second. That gap was 1.5, I think, just before the VSC was deployed out on track. Now Chapelli on the back of Heldorn and looking good so far. Let's just have a look then at what you guys have been commenting within this comment section. As I say, I really hope you guys have been enjoying this action out on track for Division 1. I mean, 33 viewers, it's pretty much one of the best attendances, and I think the best viewed stream so far this season. So big thank you to every single one of you. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe on the channel. Keep saying every few laps, says Asheen, in terms of the stream. If anybody is having stream issues, best thing to do, maybe turn your Wi-Fi off, turn it back on, and then come view back in. That is the best thing to do. I think it might be down to connection levels, obviously, in local areas. Heldorn on the back of M Short and Chapelli trying to get onto the back of M Short here. We take on board then with Chapelli, who's going down the inside here with M Short. M Short is aware of the danger. Chapelli through around the outside of turn 14. Good move. Chapelli round the outside of turn 14. M Short on worn tyres. Just really been outdone there by a guy on fresher tyres. So the German is through and he's up into 7th position. And that's twice we've seen Chapelli on both McLarens, funny enough, out on track, pull off the move. He's just picked up a 3-second time penalty, but a good move nonetheless. And Chapelli a little bit squirrely out of the final corner. He's on the back though of Heldorn, who I don't think is within DRS range on ex-Jarry. Can Chapelli try and get the move done? Could be side by side down towards turn 2. There's the curling arena on the right hand side. Chapelli on the back, not getting the move done. 9 seconds the gap to the leader, 4.3 between Louis and Alphatrix out on track. Toxic still going out on track, but is still yet to pit. Will probably come out behind Lakitu, I do believe. So he'll be within the top 10. And what I've got to say, everyone has driven a very astute race so far. I don't think we've seen any bits of contact so far out on track, except from lap 1, where it always gets a little bit overheated in the early coupling of laps and the early exchanges. But as a whole, we've seen a lot of good overtaking here tonight in League of Europe Division 1. If you have been inspired as well by the action, Division 2 and Division 4, of course, will be live at 8 PM. Or if you just want to view me again for commentary, I'm on CRC commentary at 8:30. alongside Alan Cavi if you want to try and rate up on that one. Alonso on the back of M Short. You can probably see where this one is going. The Haas on the inside line, the McLaren on the outside line. It's still side by side though, going down into the braking tunnel. M Short is going to try and hold the inside line here. Through turn 14, Alonso's round the outside, pressure tyres pelling off, and M Short I think had to give him the position. And so Alonso is through. Another move we've seen through turn 14 tonight. Not really a move for overtaking. Heldon is trying to really fight off the attentions of Schiaparelli, who is right all over the back of him. Xjavi is in, Toxic is in to the lead of the race, and now Heldon and Schiaparelli will battle it out for third position. 2/3 of the way through, it's lap 18 out of 27. Louis leads, Alpha Trick second, Heldon in third, Schiaparelli in fourth. Can Schiaparelli get onto the back now of Heldon running down the straight? He downs his EOS, and he's really into the back of him. Oh, goodness me. Heldon has to take avoiding action going through the corner, and Schiaparelli waits up for him. Waited up a little bit too much, I think, there out on track, but Schiaparelli has waited up for Heldon. Good sportsmanship. That's what we like to see promoters here in League of Europe. Schiaparelli just completely outbraked himself. Didn't realise, I think, Heldon was going to brake earlier for the corner than what he expected. Schiaparelli just straight into the back of him, but that is good, and nothing, I don't think, will be investigated as a result of that. Battle for the wooden spoon out on track, as I like to call it. Campbell and Larkin, 13th and 14th. These guys will be aiming to go quite a long way on a set of medium compound of tyres. There's the Fish Stadium on the left-hand side, which was used, of course, for the opening ceremony of the Olympics in 2014, for the Winter Olympics in 2014. Larkin on the back of Campbell, 4/10 of a second. Another voice crack from me, trying to desperately get through this stream. Toxic, by the way, is now in 9th position. With Liquid Box's DNF, he's now in 9th position, so he would have been in 10th. He's well ahead of Spag. In the meantime, though, battle for third beginning to heat up once again. It's Heldon and Schiaparelli. Schiaparelli's got good cornering speed now. He's almost as if he's swapped his strategy around. Where he had good speed early on in the first half of the race, he's now eschewed that up for cornering speed. At 6/10 of a second, he's lost a little bit of time. It's now 8/10 of a second. He's got to try and use that now down the straight, but I don't think he's going to quite get the move done here out on track. And I mean, 8/10 of a second running down the straight. The DRS zone has got to be literally at the top of the straight for him to try and get the move done. He doesn't there. In the meantime, though, Larkin eyeing up on Campbell. This is towards turn 17. He's just picked up a 3-second time penalty out on track. If I can, and if the gaps warrant it, I will have a look at both the penalties within the final couple of laps. Xjavi, in the meantime, on the back of Spag. This is for position. This is for P10. Spag trying to force Xjavi onto the outside line, but Xjavi is through. Carries the speed through, and he's up into 10th position. Nice, easy move, Spag. Oh, that's a bit of a difficult 3-second time penalty there, if I've got to be honest. Doesn't need to be warranted. Campbell has gone off track, takes a little bit of hoarding with him. Don't know what the hoarding did to you, Campbell. Larkin on the back of Campbell for 13th and 14th position. Ferrari against Red Bull. And the Ferrari is all over the back here of the Red Bulls. He comes down now towards turn 5. Try and get the move done down the inside. Overtakes have been done there before. Larkin not getting the way through. Schiaparelli is on the back of Heldon, coming towards the end of the middle sector there. 4/10 of a second. I'm going to try and keep going on board with these two battles, so I'll try and get there in quick time. Schiaparelli is on the back of Heldon, but now Larkin is on the back of Campbell as we filter through on board with these two guys out on track. Alphatrix 3.8 seconds off, and Louis has outsmarted him out on track. It's as simple as that. He's outsmarted him. Larkin to the inside line then, but Campbell will be on the inside line possibly through turn 14 if he switches it. Larkin round the outside though, gets the move done, fights it hard, and he's through, and he's up into third position. And now Schiaparelli trying to go around the outside on Heldon into turn 2. Very tricky to go too wide through here. Schiaparelli though has, and he's got the move done down the inside, but now Heldon down on the inside line through turn 3 repays the favour. Schiaparelli might have just backed off there slightly, but Heldon down the inside. I'm not sure if he let him through there, to be honest, but if he didn't, what a move to come back, turning a negative into a positive. Schiaparelli has been beaten at his own game there, I think. Heldon up to third, Schiaparelli down to fourth. But good move nonetheless, whatever happened there. And this is beginning to bring Alonso into play. So the two Germans and the Dutchman are going to fight out for third, fourth and fifth position here out on track. Toxic getting close to Waluigi, now 5 tenths of a second. He's in 9th, currently out on track. That's why I got the 9 from there. Louis though leads the way from Alphatrix, held on in 3rd. Chapelletti is on the back. Can he try and turn this? He's to the inside line. He's surely not going to go for this on the break. Chapelletti and held on. You'll see a Williams pop out of nowhere soon. He's on the inside line there somewhere. Horrible camera angle, a little bit of contact. The German trying to go around the outside through turn 15. Now we get a better camera angle, and Chapelletti's down the inside, but Heldon's defended it around the outside like an absolute lion around the outside. Good move there by Heldon to defend off the position. Good fighting between them both. It's a shame we had a very shoddy camera angle there, because that would have been fantastic to go on board with. Chapelletti is on the back then of Heldon. Alonso is now on the back of Chapelletti and within DRS range. This is proving out to be a very good battle for 3rd position. Chapelletti switches to the inside, Heldon on the outside line, and Chapelletti has got this one done. Down the inside through turn 2. Very, very good and clean and fair battle there between them both. On the edge at times, but he gets the move done. Toxic on the back of Waluigi, who switched to the wrong Renault by mistake, and Toxic is through and he's up into 8th position. Well, Chapelletti up to 3rd, Toxic up into 8th as a result. Short trying to get the move done on Spag. That's down the inside through turn 3. He's got the move done there. Just saw that on the mini-map. Oh, and I need to take a drink there. Goodness me. Louis though, 3.7 seconds leads. Alphatrix in 2nd, Chapelletti 3rd, Heldon in 4th. Now Alonso in 5th, Verstappen in 6th, Lakitu 7th, Toxic in 8th, Waluigi in 9th, Xjavi 10th, Short 11th, Spag in 12th, Larkin in 13th, and Campbell in 14th position. And again Heldon all over the back of Chapelletti. The Dutchman trying to fly past here on the back of the German. And this is for 3rd position. German sandwich, I'm going to call this here, between Chapelletti, Heldon and Alonso. Remember, Heldon is the Dutchman out of these two. The other two are German, Chapelletti and Alonso. Heldon picked up a 3-second time, but he threw the final corner. Formerly known, of course, as NSX Spike. And Heldon is on the back. But he's on the back, and he's trying to really ramp. And Chapelletti's got to try and break the toe here. But he's got the defensive line, and he's got the position sewn up down towards turn 2. So Libby then leads 3.5 seconds. Gap just beginning to eke down slightly as Heldon is trying to go around the outside. Chapelletti off the line, defends the move. But these guys now are falling 10 seconds behind the guys out on track. Louis leads the way, 3.4 seconds from Alphatrix in 2nd. Chapelletti 3rd, Heldon 4th, Alonso 5th. Verstappen now in 6th. Verstappen's really driven a good race. From pitting early on, 4 positions gained. Now all the position gains, by the way, as we came into the second half of the race. Xjavi has gained the most, 9 positions gained from 19th position on the grid. Campbell's gained 2, Larkin's gained 2 further down the field. Spag has gained 6 as well. So very interesting position gains pretty much through the field. Again, good to see more positives than negative position gains there out on track. And good to see some good battling as well. I think we deserve it, to be honest. We are still we're staying at home and we're still in lockdown, but goodness me, we're going to be here for the final 4 rounds of the season, of course, coming into. Oh, and Chapelletti makes a mistake, held on the back of him. Not going to get the inside line though, down in towards turn 17. But what I was saying is, we're going to be here for the final 4 rounds of the season. If you want to tune in more often on a Saturday night at 6:40 PM for Division 1, then you're more than happy to do so, because Heldon is on the back of Chapelletti currently out on track, and a tremendous battling here. Look at the speed that Heldon's got. Look at the closing speed. He's going to be switched to the outside line here. Chapelletti all the way to the inside line. Heldon, I think, going to be smart. He doesn't go for the move there. Chapelletti, oh, just makes a little bit of a mistake. No front wing damage, luckily. Chapelletti on the inside line. Heldon now trying to go all the way around the outside. He's on the inside line down towards turn 4, but again, smart, not going to go for the move done there. And Alonso is wetting his lips at this stage, probably thinking, come on guys, get a move on. I want to try and get 3rd here. Goodness me, Alonso right on the back of Heldon and Chapelletti. For Campbell and Larkin battling out further down the field. Toxic, by the way, has pulled away from Waluigi. It is now 1.1 seconds separating. There's the gap to the leader. It's 2.9 seconds out on track. Louis leads from Alphatrix in 2nd. It's those two again in reverse order. And I did say Louis might outsmart him here out on track, and he totally has done. Louis and Alphatrix could be 6 points separating. Look at Heldon's closing speed, again to the outside line. Chapelletti tries to go down the inside line, nearly puts him into the wall there, and Heldon is now on the inside line. Chapelletti around the outside line. Bit of a mistake there, costing Heldon. Chapelletti, I think, maybe just putting him off slightly. He moves across into track, very pretty much inches apart there to the wall. Chapelletti, though, still in third position. There was no contact. That is the main factor in that. There was no contact at all. The driver is allowed to do that, to move across and to position the car for the corner, of course. Lap 24 out of 27. It's Louis who leads from Alphatrix in second. Chapelletti in third. Heldon not close enough, though, towards turn 2. A really great action out on track. Verstappen is under all sorts of pressure, though, and behind. This came from absolutely nothing. I think he might have made a bit of a mistake. He's on the side of medium compound tyres, and now Lakitu to the outside line on a set of hards, trying to go around the outside through turn 2. The German, they've kept it up within the white lines. Toxic is trying to filter through here, and it's like the parting of the Red Sea for Toxic. He gets one. He's gone through on Verstappen. Can he get 2? This will be a great move. He can pull it off, but he is very wise to the fact that Lakitu's on a set of hards. Toxic on a set of softs. Doesn't want to pull off the move. We go up on board with the Williams man out on track. He's currently in 7th, having probably his best race of the season, I've got to say. I said that in Singapore, but Toxic really coming alive here tonight. He's got the strategy right. It's just a shame there's a couple of guys that are quicker ahead of him out on track, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty. I think penalties might come back to bite him on the backside as well. But Louis, 2.4 seconds clear, and that gap will come down. 24 laps on a set of mediums has been done before, tentatively I say that. It has been done before, but normally when I see is Toxic now down to the inside line on Lakitu, gets the move done on Lakitu. 2 for the price of 1 within the space of 2 sectors. Toxic is through and he's up into 6th position, and the fine run for Toxic continues. It's up to 6th and probably going to maybe end up there. Louis leads though, 3 laps to go, 2.3 seconds. The gap is beginning to close down, however, and Alphatrix could have a chance to possibly steal this from Louis later on in the race. Held on now though on the back of Chapelletti again for 3rd, and Chapelletti defends down through turn 1, and Chapelletti driving well, and that was a good defensive line taking through there, but Heldon is not going to give this one up without a fight. You can see this, he's on the inside line. It's like the parting of the Red Sea down the inside. He's on the outside line through turn 4. Can he get the switch back, I wonder? He can't. Heldon still remains in position behind Chapelletti. Really good, clean, fair racing between these two. It's been the battle of the race, certainly, that I've been on board with. Louis, by the way, has picked up a 3-second time penalty again. I think he's on 6 seconds now, so Alphatrix might be fine. I'm going to quickly jump on board with the top 3. Louis has only got 1 penalty, my apologies, and Alphatrix has only got a warning. So Louis now beginning to lose the tyres and is going to lose this race out on track as it stands. Alphatrix has got to make a mistake of 9/10 worth for Louis to win this. But that gap is going to consistently come down. Held on to the outside line on Chapelletti. Really fair battling between these two. They've been going at it pretty much through the entire second half of this race. And held on again, cannot find a way through on Chapelletti. Chapelletti is driving out of his skin. Held on maybe just beginning to lose the tyres. Chapelletti on fresher tyres here out on track. Penultimate lap of the race has begun for the leaders. Louis leads, 2.1 seconds out on track. Alphatrix in second. Remember, I'll correct myself when I said that earlier on. Alphatrix could pick up a 3-second time penalty and then they'll be even. So Alphatrix could pick up a 3-second time penalty and they could be even out on track. Heldon is on the back again of Chapelletti. We take this on board with Alonso. He's about 5/10 behind. Heldon to the outside line, and again Chapelletti just defends that inside line mightily. So Heldon on the back, and this time he's not going to get the move done. Chapelletti carrying a bit more flatter speed through there. It's stadium to the left hand side. There's the ice hockey arena to the left hand side as well, while Widgie is on the back of Verstappen. This is for 8th position. The Belgian will try and ride on board with something fresh. The banana car right on the back of the Toro Rosso, of course. The Renault on the back of the Toro Rosso. And Verstappen 8th, while Luigi in 9th. But we are slowly approaching the end here in Division 1. Of course, there is more action to come. Division 2 and Division 4 will be live respectively, hopefully, all being well with connection from 8 o'clock, so that's in 10 minutes time. that will be enough time to grab yourself a drink, like I'm going to do, and Heldon is on the inside line. Sorry to cut in, because Heldon is on the inside line, gets the move done. He finds a way past eventually, but Chapelletti's late on the brakes, trying to pull off on the move for Heldon, but not quite, and Heldon is through. And he's up into P3, but is he going to remain that way? Because Chapelletti is right on the back of him. Final lap has begun for the leaders. Louis just beginning to pull out that gap again. 2.2 seconds from Alpha Trix in second. Alpha Trix will outscore Louis as it stands if he doesn't pick up a 3-second time penalty. So that'll be 7 points advantage more going into next week. Chapelletti on the back of Heldon, 0.4 of a second. Don't think he's going to be close enough for the run down towards turn 1. But again, I've been wrong about this before. Chapelletti could have a go. It's a final lap. He deserves to have a go down the inside, but he's not going to quite get the move done. And Heldon holds sway for now in third position. Luigi on the back of Verstappen. Maybe again one of the easiest moves you'll see all race. On the final lap, Luigi through and he's up into 8th position. Battle for the... Oh, Chapelletti goes wide. That might be his chance now to chase down Heldon. Over and done with. Larkin, by the way, is pitted in. Chapelletti, 3-second time penalty. Louis leads. Alpha Trix second. To come through into the final, or towards the final sector now. Heldon with a 3-second time penalty as well. Penalties is going to be the order of the day here, I think, in Russia. As Louis now comes through the final sector. He's 2 seconds ahead. But with a second buffer, Alpha Trix is going to take the win here out on track, all being well, as long as he doesn't mess it up through the final couple of corners. It's been a tremendous race here out on track in Russia. Fantastic overtaking, fantastic battling. Louis is going to win it out on track. He outsmarted Alpha Trix for the race, but in the meantime, Louis will cross the line to win, but Alpha Trix will win on penalties, 9/10 of a second. Nearly, well, 1,000th of a second there, pretty much, for Alpha Trix as he takes the win out on track and gets revenge on Louis. Are we going to see a consistent theme between these two for the final 4 rounds of the season? You'll have to find out next week. Heldon across the line in third, drove very well. Chapelletti with penalties down to down to fifth even, and Alonso across the line in fourth. Toxic has got a numerous amount of penalties, I think. He's going to be costly. Keto was up in position, as is Luigi. He's up to fifth. Verstappen up to sixth as well. Chapelletti down to seventh. Toxic's gone down to 10th. Goodness me, I can't really keep up with this. M Short coming across the line in 11th. Good drive from him on his full debut. Goes up to 10th, in fact, with Toxic's penalties. Spag, been a lonely race, I think, for Spag. He can give us a bit of a showboat coming through the final corner. I'll give him style points, and he has. So I'll give him 8 out of 10 for that. Campbell across the line. He finishes in 13th position. Not as stylish as Spag, I'm afraid. And Larkin now, coming around the final couple of corners. He's on a set of soft compound of tyres. I think it's to do... it's probably why he pitted on the final lap of the race. It's probably to do with the regulations. He would have got disqualified otherwise, because I think he was on a set of mediums. And now Larkin, I think he's probably just going to have a little bit of fun. Hopefully, we're going to see a little bit of a treat here. So he now comes around the final couple of corners, through the final corner, and yeah, that's about a 5 out of 10 for Larkin there across the line. Larkin across the line in 14th position, but he does finish the race after all. So, a tremendous race out on track. Louis taking the win out there on track. Outsmarted Alpha Trix in the VSC. But it's Alpha Trix on penalties who takes the win here tonight and extends his championship lead provisionally to 20 points out on track. I'm not sure who the fastest lap went to. I'll check that when we have a rundown. But fantastic racing. Maybe one of the better races of the season, as I like to allude to here in Division 1. Russia always produces a good race in terms of overtaking. I never really get a bad race around here, and I think that was no exception at all. So, the final rundown of the grid, the provisional grid, is as follows. Alpha Trix takes the win out on track, no penalties. He takes the win from Louis in second. Heldon on his debut in third. What a stoic drive from him out on track. Alonso in fourth, with Luigi in fifth. Verstappen in sixth. Chapelletti in seventh. Xjerry in eighth. Lakitu in ninth. Good drive from him. M Short in 10th as well. Many good drives out on track. I think Toxic has picked up fastest lap of the race. The fastest lap of the race has gone indeed to Toxic, so congratulations to him for picking up that final point. Penalties just really ruining him, really out on track. Spag in 12th picks up a final point. Campbell in 13th, Larkin in 14th, Little, Bullet Boy, Cantera and Doom rounding off those guys. Of course, the 15th, 16th, 17th and 18th all DNF'd out on track. So that is your sim racing fix for tonight, over and done with here in Division 1. If you do want to see more racing action though out on track, don't forget to tune in to Division 2 and Division 4. Either or, we will have both streams covered for you, both races covered for you tonight. What a night we have in prospect as well. With 4 rounds to go in the season, the next round we are going to be taking in, of course, and I'll get this up and I'll confirm it in just a second when I find the calendar, because I don't keep the calendar handy with me. But out on track, very good racing, and next week, of course, we do go to... I'm just checking. I will find it eventually. Trust me, I will find it. I'm not going to stop the stream until we find it. Just give me 2 seconds. I'll get up the calendar now. So next week from Russia, I think we go to Japan. So we go to Suzuka next week. In fact, we don't go next week because we've got a break week, with it being the 24 hours of F1. So that will take place next week. We will see you, though, back on the 2nd of May. In the meantime, though, you can tune in on Monday for League of Europe Formula 2 and on Wednesday for League of Europe GT Sport as well, both at 7 o'clock. And you will even see me on both streams as well. But for me, James said, I am going to bid you all farewell. Please, please stay at home, protect the NHS, protect your health service, and save lives. If you do not stay home, you do not save lives. It is simple as that. Thank you so much for watching Division 1 of League of Europe. And until next time, goodbye.